It literally took me 12 years to realize that cover calls, cash gear puts, the wheel, the Poorman cover call, spreads, they don't work to make money with stock options. So what you're going to learn in this video right now is the collection of 12 years of me making money, losing money, developing this strategy that works through bull markets and works through bear markets that scaled me to a $1.2 million account, and I generate roughly $30,000 per month in cash flow. No day trading, no swing trading, no staring at your screen all day long, stressing and getting gray hairs about, oh my God, this trade is not going in the direction I need it to go in every single hour of every single day. We're not going to play those games anymore. So let's dive straight into it. I'm going to teach you step by step exactly how this system works, how I scale to 1.2 million bucks, how I get to 30K per month in cash flow, and anybody could implement this into their portfolios immediately. It is very, very simple to do. First thing we're going to do, we're just going to head over to the charts and we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ right here. This is the 5-year chart of the NASDAQ, by the way. You can notice that a lot of volatility along the way, but start to finish clearly up and to the right. Great. Most good things go up and to the right in the long term. You're probably wondering what this line right here is. This is not a moving average line. This is not a SMA line, whatever you want to call it. This line corresponds to the profits of the companies within the NASDAQ. Understand that the number one thing that moves the price of a stock in the long term, it's what the profits do. Period, bar none. What are the corporate profits doing? This applies to an ETF. This applies to an individual company. It doesn't matter. So if you find a great company at a good price and the profits are going up and to the right, it sure is going to be very hard for you to not make money on that trade right there. Okay, so let's dive into it. So as we talked about, this line is basically like gravity, just think of it as. The stock market's going to go a little bit above it, it's going to go a little bit below it, above it, below it, above it, whatever. But in the long term, the stock market's going to follow this, the profits, the thing that moves the price of the stock in the long term, the profits. The market's going to follow that. So how do we allocate our portfolios in a way to capitalize on this line right here? How do we capitalize in a way to know, are we overvalued or undervalued? And what are the profits doing? How do we capitalize on this stuff just to buy shares from the get-go? Well, when the stock market is a little bit above the earnings per share growth line right here, do we feel like it makes sense to be super bullish up there? Like, what are most retail investors thinking up here? The share price is going up. Maybe they want to buy calls. Maybe they want to go sell put options. Cash gear puts is what most people do. They're horrible. I'll break it down in this video why. There's major, major problems with that stuff. And trust me, I didn't realize this stuff in the first year or two that I was doing options. It took me many, many years going through bull markets and bear markets to realize that the most common strategies most people do, they're traps. They're not good. So, most retail investors, like I said, they're excited up here, they're euphoric, they're willing to buy some call options. They're not only willing to buy call options, they're willing to pay top dollar for those call options. Because what are they getting right here? The big F word, FOMO. They see the share price going up, they think it's just going to keep going up. If they were to draw a trend line and say, this is what I think the stock is going to do, they just think it's going to moon. And by the way, I know this is on a NASDAQ, but it doesn't matter what we're doing this on. It's just going to apply to any company out there, whether it's Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, like whatever. It doesn't matter. This applies to everything. So the problem is most people are buying calls up here. Most people are selling puts up here. And they're also doing that in a very short duration fashion. So when you're buying in, when things are a little bit expensive, and you're not giving yourself really any time to capture any tailwinds of earnings per share growth, the profits going up and to the right, it's unlikely you're going to make money at a time like that. And that's what most retail investors do up here. They're doing bullish strategies in a very short duration manner. They have no bullish tailwinds behind them. And then they go look at their account refreshing 14 times a day, wondering like, why the heck am I losing money? Why am I not making money in the stock market? And then bam, you could see from peak to trough, the NASDAQ in this time frame right here fell roughly 35%. So while they're doing all this bullish allocation up here, maybe you're doing a wheel strategy, whatever you think you're doing to generate cash flow or just do a bullish strategy, they're then getting crushed as the market's going down and down and down. And think about what most people are thinking down here after you get a 35% drop in the NASDAQ. I hate the stock market. I'm never going to do this again. I'm done with this stuff. Screw it. I'm going to close out all my trades and I'm going to realize the loss. Or what a lot of people like to do is they like to hedge. Maybe you bought calls up here, you got smoked on your calls when the market went down. So now what they want to do is they want to go buy puts to hedge their downside per se. But look at where you're at in relation to where the actual profits are at. The profits are going up and to the right, and the profits are all the way up here. Meanwhile, the share price is all the way down here. So while you're getting nervous and freaking out thinking the market's only going to go down, 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 it's actually becoming safer and more compelling because you have this thing called a margin of safety. And all a margin of safety is basically you're just buying a great company for less than what it's worth. That is the name of the game. Everyone wants to just go shoot darts at a wall with stock options and hope that they make a bunch of money. Options are just a way to magnify something. If you're very bullish, you could go buy shares. If you're super bullish, you could go sell put options. And if you're super duper bullish, you could go buy call options. But options are just there as a tool to magnify something. So starting from the top, you have to figure out if you're bullish or bearish to start, and then you allocate your portfolio based on that. So up here, with the valuations a little bit hot and people are paying top dollar for call options, do we really think that it makes sense to go buy call options and YOLO in up here for top dollar and only do that on a very short duration basis? In my opinion, it makes absolutely no sense. And if we just take a look at this chart right here, then I'm going to kind of bring all this together and show you like what I do, the timing of it, what expiration dates, what strike prices, what tickers, what else am I looking for. It's all going to click here in a second here because I'm not doing cash secure puts. I'll do portfolio secure puts with calls, with shares. I'll show you all that stuff here in a second. We'll actually go into my account. I'll show you a few trades I have open right now. But take a look at the bottom here. You can see it's September 12th of 2022. Let's go to October 12th of 2022. Somewhere around here is probably the closest I'm going to be able to get. So basically what I'm doing is doing a little percent change of what the actual earnings per share did in that little 1 month period. You can see the earnings per share went up by roughly 1.43%. 1.43% when you're doing that little short duration contract. So while you were correct to do something bullish down here, maybe you bought shares, or maybe you sold puts, or maybe you bought calls, you didn't really have much of a tailwind behind you of earnings per share growing. You just have the tailwind of, hey, I'm buying something when it's largely undervalued. But did you give it enough time for it to really actually pan out? Like things could stay undervalued for a whole year, even more sometimes. And when you're doing, 1 month, 1 week, even a 2 month option contract, it's hard for you to actually be profitable on that because the market in the short term is not always going to be rational. But what if down here you bought a 1 year call option? We're going from October 17th of 2022. Let's go to October 17th of 2023. All the way up here. You notice how the share price is eventually getting closer to this earnings per share growth line. That stuff usually always happens. It's called reversion to the mean, reversion to the earnings per share growth line. That is what stocks follow in the long term. So when you give yourself 1 year or even 2 years, you make the likelihood that you're going to make money on your trade a bazillion times higher. So what I like to do down here is when people are panicking and when they're freaking out, I like to go sell portfolio secured put options. And let me just explain to you what this means really quick. I know maybe you feel like we're bouncing all over the place, you don't really understand the strategy. It's all going to come together, but I just need to lay the foundation for you so that you can really understand what's going on here. We're going to use options to generate cash flow and get appreciation and make money with call options and stuff like that. But we first have to figure out where the market's at to start, which is what I was showing you before. So let's take a look at this meta trade right here. You can see that I have meta shares, I have meta sold puts, 5 contracts, and I have meta call options right here, 2 contracts right there. But in this account, I have 0 cash. You're going to be like, well, Brandon, how are you selling put options right here with 0 cash in your account? I do this thing called a portfolio secured put. Honestly, I haven't seen any single person on YouTube or X, wherever, talking about this stuff. I kind of coined it myself. But this is what I've been doing for the last 10 to 12 years, scaling my account and beating the S&P 500 in the long term, which most people aren't going to do. Maybe in a raging bull market, you'll beat the market and like I crush the market in a raging bull market. But when we get bear markets and the things go down, most people get totally destroyed. So this portfolio secured put allows me to truly be bullish when I want to be bullish. Because think about it. This meta trade right here, if I were forced to do a cash secured put, I'm theoretically going to have 5 contracts. 5 contracts times 100 shares is 500 shares. 500 times 560, I'm going to have $280,000 in cash sitting there doing nothing. Meanwhile, I said I'm bullish on Meta. Why on earth would I want to do that? Why would I want to sit on that much cash? I wouldn't. I would do portfolio secured puts, have my money invested in my base portfolio, which you know is like S&P, NASDAQ, various good companies at good prices, and I'm capturing that bullish tailwind going up and to the right, not having that cash drag by cash secured puts. So when we go take that understanding right there and we go look at the chart, how does this actually pan out? Take a look right here. It's honestly going to blow your mind when all this comes together full circle because there's so many people that, I try to teach this system to, and it takes them about 20 minutes for it to actually click. And I'm sure it hasn't clicked yet because I didn't really bring it all together yet. But it's going to click, and you're never going to be able to look at whatever option strategy you're doing right now really ever again. It's not going to be the same. I'm going to ruin it for you, honestly. So we talk about up here, people are bullish, euphoria, whatever. But down here is where the money's made. When the market's undervalued, like down here and down here. Not up here. Like time recording the video, market's a little bit hot, in my opinion. But we'll just talk about the Liberation Day tariff dump because it's a really good example. It's more recent than down here. So what happened right here is retail investors were panicking. Market was falling, NASDAQ was falling. All the high beta companies like Tesla and SoFi and Robinhood and Nvidia and TSM and Meta, whatever. Most of the high volatility companies were falling a lot more. And they were getting even cheaper in this time frame. So when most people see the market falling and their companies falling and going red in their portfolio too, they panic and they sell because they always feel like they have to react. They feel like they have to go do something. But my reaction when things are falling is, hey, these good companies that I have on my watch list are now on sale. And I want to allocate in the most capital efficient way with my risk management protocols in place so that if I'm wrong or the market keeps going down, it's still likely I'm going to make money on that trade in the long term. So what I do right here is I'm going to sell portfolio secured puts. This is a NASDAQ, by the way. It totally does not matter. This chart looks very similar to many of the companies in this time frame right here. Earnings per share lines right here. Clearly, the market's undervalued. Let's go on a percent basis. Let's say the market right here is, we'll just say 16% undervalued. I'm going to delete that line because I'm not going to claim that we're going to be able to time the bottom of the market perfectly because we're not going to be able to. So what we're going to do is somewhere around right here, we're going to say that we're going to go sell portfolio secured puts. Now, the typical person is they're going to go sell maybe like a 1 month put and they're going to generate some cash flow. And let's say with that 1 month put option, they're going to generate just say about $1,000 in premium. Great. In 1 month, March 17th to we'll go to April 17th, somewhere around right here, we'll just say, a lot of volatility and a lot of them probably panicked and sold out right here because it went red immediately. But in 1 month, if you would have held, you might have broke even on a contract, or maybe you would have made a little bit of money too, depending on if you held it or not and what strike price you picked and stuff like that, which we'll talk about that in a second here. But 1 month, does it really give you a lot of time for the share price to snap back to intrinsic value or just the true value of where something should be trading at? I will refer to this line as the earnings per share growth line, reversion to the mean, intrinsic value, true value, whatever. This is just gravity. This is where the market needs to be trading at or the stock. It needs to be around this growth line right here. Like you saw in this time frame, it took a year-ish for the market to go down and then revert back to where the profit line is at. So there's a long time down here for it to actually get realized for you to say, hey, I'm bullish. The stock price is going to go back to the mean line of growth. But right here, we obviously had a big V-shaped recovery, and oftentimes the sharper things go down, the sharper things go back up. But when you do your 1 month contract, you don't really give yourself enough time to be able to capitalize on what's actually going on out there. On top of that, this is the part that you really got to pay attention to. Let's say you generated $1,000 in cash flow right here. If I were to go and sell a 2-year put right here, you're going to be like, Brandon, a 2-year put? Like, are you on drugs? Listen, a 2-year put. Let's say that I would have generated $20,000 in cash flow right here. Think about what that means. You generated $1,000 when it was cheap. I generated $20,000 when it was cheap. So while, yes, you're going to make money probably on your first put that you sell, then the next month you probably will make money. Next month you probably make money. Next month you'll probably make money. Maybe you hit 5 sold puts in a row, which is still very hard to do. When you're coming from an oversold level right here, it's very possible. But now when you're going to do your 6th sold put and you're trying to get $6,000 of cash flow and I got 20K right here when it was cheap, you're now forcing trades when it doesn't necessarily make sense to force the trade. You're selling puts when things are overvalued now. And selling puts is a bullish strategy. So why do you want to use magnification, which is what options are, when the market is largely overvalued? You wouldn't want to do that. So I am more precise and strike when it makes more sense. So I took that cash flow when it was cheap, and going back to the MetaTrade here, like I actually sold it for $46,000. So I picked up $46,000 in cash flow immediately when I sold the put on Meta. Now, when I sold that put on Meta on a recent dip, I took the cash flow and I went and bought some call options right here. And I also took some of the cash flow and I bought some shares right here. So then what happens is when the share price rebounds, I make money on the trade in various different angles. The sold put's going to go down in value. I sold it for 46K. I could buy it back for 33 right now. That's an unrealized profit of $13,000 right now on that meta sold put. The shares, think about this. The shares that I have right here, I'm only up 7% so far, but I'm going to be patient with this. I'm going to give it time to actually play out. I'm going to give them time to actually boost the earnings per share. As earnings per share goes up and to the right, the stock is going to follow that in the long term. And on top of that, when you buy a company when it's below intrinsic value, below the earnings per share growth line, you have a double bullish tailwind behind you, but only if you allocate yourself with longer duration options. I have until 2028, it's the beginning of 2026 right now, for this trade to actually play out. Like, think about what these call options could actually be worth right here. They could be worth a lot. And think about what this put option is likely to be worth. It's probably going to expire worthless. So I picked up $46,000 in cash flow when somebody was panicking and freaking out. I took that cash flow and I went to go be bullish. Because again, if we flip back to the chart, I know it's probably not clicking yet, but it's going to click in a minute here. Stick with me. If we go back to the chart, I'm selling puts right here for top dollar. People are panicking. They want to buy puts. They want to buy downside protection. I get it. I mean, I don't get why they're doing it, but I understand what humans do. Human nature doesn't change. They want to buy puts right here and they're panicking to buy puts. So I'm going to go sell them those puts for top dollar. I sell the portfolio secured put, take the 20K in cash flow. I buy some shares, which are undervalued right here. And I go buy some call options, which nobody is going to want. Remember on the left-hand side, people want call options when the market's doing nothing but going up and to the right. People do not want call options down here. They want put options down here. So I sell the puts for top dollar. The market rebounds. Nobody wants puts up here. They all want call options. So I sell the put for a lot. I could buy it back for essentially nothing up here. I buy the calls for bottom dollar down here because nobody wants them. Sentiment flips. Market goes up. Market gets a little bit expensive. People then want to go buy call options for top dollar. So they could go have my call options for top dollar because I might feel like I captured the majority of the move right here. That is the name of the game. Now again, longer duration option contracts. I'm going to draw a line right here. Let's just continue this line and let's say that this is your strike price that you picked right here. I know it's the actual index, so it's like the actual share price on the right hand side, but it doesn't really matter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this actual earnings per share growth line right here. And this is where you'll understand why I win so many trades that I actually take. If you go do a 1 month put option right here, and maybe you pick a strike price down here, like you enter the trade right here, this is like the share price when you go and do it, you set a strike price down here. So your margin of safety from intrinsic value to where the strike price is at is roughly 11 to 12%. So great, you got in 12% below intrinsic value to where your strike price is at versus where the actual earnings per share growth line's at. That's a decent margin of safety. It's not amazing, but it's decent. But take a look at me. Take a look at why I usually win so many more trades. If I run this all the way out to, we'll just say like August 30th of 2027, look at what my margin of safety is going to be. It's roughly 27%. So I have 27% margin of safety, and I'm collecting $20,000 of cash flow right here. Meanwhile, you're collecting like $1,000 in cash flow right here. So I'm investing more money when it's undervalued, not forcing trades when things are expensive up here. Meanwhile, you're chasing monthly cash flow month after month after month with less margin of safety, and who knows what the actual share price is going to do month to month. Like if we just flip this, chart right here to a 6-month chart, look at all this randomness right here in the market. The market's very random in the short term, but if we go to a 5-year chart, it becomes very clear. EPS is going up and to the right. Earnings per share is going up and to the right. The stock is likely to follow that. So the name of the game is to be bullish when it makes sense to be bullish, usually when most people are bearish. Sell portfolio secured puts, keep your ratios in check, buy call options when it makes sense, buy shares when it makes sense, and do longer duration option contracts because you're giving yourself more of a chance to make money. Not even a chance. Like I've been doing this strategy for about 10 years now. I've been assigned 3 to 4 times in my entire life doing this. Think about that. Literally 3 times in 12 years, I've been assigned doing this portfolio secured put strategy through COVID, through 2022, through Liberation Day tariffs, through the Japan carry trade, like whatever, all these crisis events out there. Because I have such a huge margin of safety every single trade that I make. I'm not going to sit here and say I could time the bottom of the market. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm going to make money on every single trade. But what I am saying is that I have a huge margin of safety. I have my base portfolio built, a lot of S&P, a lot of NASDAQ, a lot of individual companies that are undervalued. I use it as collateral to go sell the put, portfolio secured. I'm not sitting on cash doing nothing. I have my base portfolio securing it. And the amount of puts that I sell is always a ratio of how much my base portfolio value is. That is the name of the game right there. So I'm going to end this video right here. But this is the high level overview of the strategy. If you want to learn more about it, Watch this video right here. I have another one covering this. That being said, I'll see you in the next video.